Yes. Okay, we're recording. Well, good evening. My name is Doug Sealer, W9LCQ. I'm the TDXS secretary. Welcome to the TDXS September meeting. The only announcement I have is maybe a brief discussion point is next month is our scheduled Tracy G in-person meeting. We've been deferring those up till now, but I'm suggesting maybe we want to try to have an in-person meeting this coming month. Any reactions one way or the other?
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with that. We need to see each other close up instead of on a screen.
Okay. Okay, duly noted. Well, Keith, are you ready to talk?
Yep. Now he is.
Well, we're not hearing you. Your lips are moving, but we're not hearing you. You're not muted, but
Do you know sign language?
Might have to switch which microphone Zoom is using in your audio settings.
nope.
Once you log out and back in, maybe that'll fix it.
I'd also have to reboot. This was Patch Tuesday week, so there's Windows updates floating around.
Don't hear you, Keith. There you go. In the meantime, keep your stories and letters coming. Not that I've received very many, but I would like to put in some guest content into the bullsheet. And if you guys got anything at all, send it to me. I won't forget like I forgot somebody's. Whose was it? I can't even remember who I forgot. How about that?
Yeah, it was
Robbie,
Rick. Robbie and I, but it got in there this time. Hold on,
Yeah.
the boss lady's calling. Just a second.
I can't remember what I forgot, but but anyhow, send me articles, send me biographies, send me stories and lies and pictures, and send me bullshit to put in the bullsheet. Okay.
And by the way, thank you. The article looked good and it was fun and we're going to do some more. So there'll be some more pictures. Orville, we're going to blame his camera on the fact that there weren't any pictures of him in Groves. He
I
just,
didn't do it.
that's an excuse.
It's okay. We know what Orville looks like.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that was fun, and it wasn't too hard to get the pictures. So
we're
Still nothing from Keith.
Yeah, still hearing you.
You know how to? Do you know how to change? Do you have a different microphone?
Anybody read lips?
1 for yes, 2 for no.
if somebody wants to call him on the telephone and talk to him that way and see if they can suggest things to him or ask him I don't know. See if he knows how to get to the audio setup.
Yeah, you have to go to the little gear.
Or
Well,
you can click on the up arrow where your microphone is, where it
Yeah, the
says
little
mute on the lower left.
Oh
Down the
yeah.
lower left where your microphone is, where you
Yeah.
mute, there's a little arrow, and if you
Yes.
click on it, it lets you pick
Select your
microphone. So
microphone.
you
Carrot.
may
Right.
be picking the wrong sound source.
It's a carrot. So it's
Yeah,
a
carrot.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
There
we
we
can hear you
go.
now.
You did
Hey.
it. You can't hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can't hear you.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you, but we know what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, very good.
It's kind of
So
muffled, but we hear you.
Since Keith is the public face of the QSO Texas QSO party, thought it's appropriate for him to talk about it this week since it's just 2 days away. So take it away, Keith.
Okay,
I have screen sharing turned on.
okay, let me get rid of this.
Not that one.
How you get it off, how you get. Move it down here, Lou. Let me close this down. Ah,
Okay, I tell you what, go up here and stop sharing.
okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, what I thought I'd do is go through a couple of things that may be of interest. Number one is planning for a mobile trip. And what I have is, I've got a thing here. Can everybody see that?
yeah, we're seeing
you see your notepad.
a map and the notepad with some turn information, I guess.
See that? I wonder if there's a way I can increase the font. I don't know. Anyway,
Notepad, I got a calculator, a map and so on.
there's a notepad, and it starts out with, it talks about the TXQP 2021 operation plan for K5DX. We're gonna use the call again and operate Saturday and Sunday, both CW and sideband, so we're gonna be mixed. We're gonna work 40, 20, 15, and 10. K5GQ will be doing the operating while I'm doing the driving. When we stop, we'll switch over and I'll use the phone and try to make some phone contacts. The old Kenwood transceiver had some problems last year. I have a 7300, but it died. So I pulled out one of my 7610s, which I'm not using now. And I managed to get it in the, in the truck. So we're gonna use that. And it seems to work fine.
What kind of antenna do you have?
We have two antennas. One of them is a Tar Heel, a little Tar Heel. It'll cover 40 through 6. And then I've got also a, what's the other, the big, oh gosh. What's the mobile that's got the big coils on it?
Oh, the Hustler stuff?
Yeah, I've got a Hustler for 40. And we got it really working good on 40. So I've got to switch between the Tar Heel and the Hustler when we switch bands. That's what you want to know?
Yeah, I was just curious about your equipment. I assume you're gonna be barefoot.
Yes. And we've already tried this out a couple of times and sorted out the problems that came. We're using N1MM plus, and Mark is trying to figure out how to squeeze everything you can out of that. Anyway, here's the way it goes. On Saturday, we're going to leave. We're going to have breakfast in Tomball. Then after breakfast, we're going to take 2920 and go to 2920 West and 290 West and take us to Waller. And then we're going to Field Store Road. And there's the county line right there. It's Field Store Road. So we can start operating, but I think it'll be before 9 o'clock. So we'll just keep driving. When we get to Highway 6. We're gonna go to Highway 6. And by the way, I put mileage in here. And then we're gonna take to Waller and Grimes County. And then when we get there, we'll be able to operate both counties. And that's when he'll be operating CW until he runs out of contacts, and we'll switch over to sideband. I'll take over and try to get some sideband. That's what we did last year. Worked pretty good. I think we're gonna try to stay with 40 as long as we can, because you know, in Texas, there's little chance you're gonna work Texas stations on 20.
Yeah,
So it's a better chance on 40. So we'll try to, that's a little change from last year. Last year, we heard a lot of out of state stuff on 20, and we just had a ball. But we didn't get many Texas contacts. So we're gonna try to change that up this year. Anyway, so first one is Waller, then Grimes, then Brazos, and I'm gonna go through all this. You see all those numbers in there, I'm keeping the mileage. And I'm gonna get down to where I am right now in the planning. I'm to Leon County. And you notice here, it says Leon operate mobile. Where every other county, we're gonna stop. That way we can work 2 counties. And then in these counties that are connecting counties, we just keep operating mobile and work mobile. Anyway, after we pass Leon, we'll continue 7 east to I-45 south in Centerville. And by this time, we'll have 444.8 on the odometer plus 20.8 down to Centerville. And that gives us 465. And then we'll take I-45, and I'm gonna go in here and show you this other thing. And see, this is this regular map. I'm using this to calculate the miles. In other words, here I've come from, this is the county line. How do I know the county line? On this other computer, which you can't see, I have a map with county overlays. And I can zoom down and I can zoom into this. And I found out at Navasota River, that's where the county line is.
Mm.
So I come back and I could pull that map up here, but really be busy. So I'll just tell you about it. The other one is too bad. The other one won't let you do miles. Anyway, so I go ahead and, but this is pretty involved, folks. So
Yeah.
now I'm at Centerville. And I found out the way this works, you have to get pretty close and tell them where you're going to be. So here I'm going to kill this, and I'm going to put this as my starting point. Now I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go down to, there's Madison. I'm going to go, the county line to Madison County is just after Leona. Then so there's Leona. So if I look at here, that's about the county line right there. I'm gonna assume it is. So what I'll do is I zoom in, and I'm gonna assume this is the county line. I'll have to fix it because I can get it better. So I say directions to here, it tells me it's 10.2 miles. So I go over here, oops. Go over here and I say, okay. So I'm at 465.6. I'll add the 10.2 miles. That gives me 475.81. I'm using this because when you're driving a truck and you don't have a map, you can pull this up and get your mileage right in. So let's see.
Well, it
475.
certainly involves, it's a lot more preparation than most of us rovers would take. For me, it's about, well, you go drive down this road and go to that road and hopefully find this county line and
I just wanted to give you
have lunch.
what it takes to plan out where you don't get lost, because every time we've gone in the past, we've gotten lost and we don't know where we are. And I say, okay, Mark, where are we? He says, well, I don't know. Let's go
You know,
back.
there's this thing called the GPS.
Well, I've got a Garmin. Okay, but it doesn't tell you where the county line is. That's the problem. So what county are you in? So we've pulled the cell phone out and put, okay, there's a town. Okay, pull it up and it tells you what county it's in. Okay, we're in that county. I mean, that's roughing it, folks. So this way I'll know ahead of time the county I'm coming up on, what the mileage should be, and so forth. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that process. So
Yeah, it's just interesting.
it's fairly detailed, and it comes out. This is the third year we're doing this, and I've learned from the past.
Looks like you have a lot of work left to go because it looks like Sunday is not very well planned out yet.
Well, yeah. So I've got Madison, Walker, Montgomery, and then Harrisburg. Now on Sunday, we've got some more counties we're doing. And interesting enough, last year when we hit Lavaca, LAVA, there was a huge pilot. And we were at Lavaca and Fayette County line.
Mhm.
Mark said, I'm going to work both counties at the same time. Forget that. The call depth was at least 30. So how do you work two counties with 30 guys waiting?
You don't.
So I says, Mark, get out of the dual mode. Let's work one county till you work the pile down, then we'll go to the other county. And it turned out we had to do that. That was exciting. A lot of adrenaline there. So between lava and, by the way, we made right at 1,000 cubes last year, which I thought was really good.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the planning. Now the rest of the time, I was going to show you an actual trip that I took with Chuck Sanders back in 2011. He says, "What are you doing for Texas so far?" I said, "Well, no plan." He says, "How about driving me? And when we stop, I'll let you work sideband." Because my CW was pretty rough at that time. You know, I listened to guys like Alan, they're singing along at 35 to 40, you know. And I run the CWT at 36, so I'm up there. But back then I was maybe 20, 25. So a lot of it went right over my head. So I stuck pretty much to sideband. But I've learned a lot since then. But anyway, so this is, without further ado, I'm going to diminish all this stuff.
Use N1MM.
Yes. Our first time to use the N1M was last year, and boy, what an improvement. I mean,
Yeah.
the capability for throughput is so much. There's so many things you can do from the keyboard that you couldn't do with things like M3FJP. So anyway, so let's see if I can find where I am there. Oh, okay.
By the way, Keith, sometime during the presentation, I'd like to see us go to the website, the QSO Party website, and sort of look at what's on the website.
I'll finish up with the website and take questions at that point.
Okay.
I've got this thing I put together for the 2011. I thought I'd just show it to you real quick.
Sure.
Okay, here we are. And Chuck, everybody knows Chuck. He was mobile, CW only, and I was driving. We started out, we were going to share. But unfortunately, when we switched over to sideband, the whole thing took a dump. Of course, he was using CQX and it didn't help. So finally I said, "Look, Chuck, you operate, I'll drive." And so that worked out good. Okay, the first thing I'll do is show you a video of, let's see if I can find the video. This is the first video I took. We were heading out toward Beaumont.
Keith, if you turn on, there's a checkbox for original sound. If you do that, it won't mute the CW.
Okay, so that's, anyway, so that's when the Wallaceville Reservoir back in 2011 was just finished. So we were happy that it was finished. But you saw the big cranes there. They were still there dismantling the old deal. Then we got to Beaumont and we stopped for the Dairy Queen. Good place to stop. And there's Chuck. Everybody knows Chuck. Here he is in operating again. The next thing is Newton County, Orange County. We turned up north going toward Newton. And I just got some photos as we went along. That's a hell of an antenna he's got on there. It's one of those fancy IQ, I think you call it. Well, boy, that thing worked well. Okay, then I've got a video of this spot. Let me go to the Video, Chuck's in there operating. Is that audio okay? Can you hear it?
It's a little muffled.
Okay, well, I don't know. It sounds good here on my speaker. Anyway, Chuck,
We don't hear the video, the audio on the video. We don't hear that.
can?
No.
You can?
You-
Cannot really hear it down.
You probably have to enable it.
If you go out of sharing, and then when you there's a little checkbox, I think in the lower left-hand corner of the screen that'll say something about original sound, and turn that on. Then go back to share your desktop.
Where do I go from here?
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay, now hit the share button, and when the first screen comes up, I think in the lower left-hand corner there should be a little checkbox for or menu item that says original sound. You see that?
I don't see anything.
Hmm.
Oh, it says share sound. There you go.
Yeah, lower left, it says share sound.
Okay, I got it now. Let's see if it works then.
There we go. That's a lot more exciting. So now we can't hear you, Keith.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. It's just the audio from the video was overwhelming you.
When the audio is going, I'm not gonna be able to talk, okay?
Right.
Anyway, then go back to the, so now we're at Woodville. I wanted to bring up a map, but it wouldn't display, show you where we were headed. But we went on up through Woodville and had lunch.
It said lunch at a car wash. You got a car wash?
Well, what happened is it was love bug season,
Oh.
and I could hardly see out of the windshield.
Mm.
So we went to Subway and it says, "Is there a place where we could wash?" I said, "Yeah, right across the street." So you see those bugs.
Yeah, I see the shadows.
Anyway, we went over and washed all the bugs off. Anyway, we proceeded on. That was one of the stops. Just seemed interesting. We went up to Trinity and back. We did one of these little things. We go out a few miles and hit a county and then come back and rather than have to extend them. And right here is Chuck. And I've got, there he is. Now I've got let me go back to that. Okay, for you, you see that CW guys in there, you heard that. I mean, he was working them right and left. Chuck is a really good mobile operator. Okay, then the limestone. These are just various shots, just to show you the scenery that we encountered as we went along. This was interesting to see the shot right by the horses. By the way, in the background, that's at the top of the thing. You see some white back there, some huge oil tanks back there. And it must have been a dozen of them. Each one of them looked like it hold over 1 million gallons.
Hmm.
Anyway, this was in Navarro County. Somebody later said, well, those are oil reserve tanks. You know, government owned.
Hmm.
Well, somebody said, I don't
Most of
know.
that stuff's underground.
See that shows the tanks right there.
Hmm.
Big tank field. Somebody said those are government owned. I said, I don't have any idea.
I doubt it.
Anyway, a lot of oil, millions and millions of gallons in there, maybe barrels. Now here's a good for you CW guys. We'll hear some good pilot.
Nice radio.
I think we can go now, Keith.
Okay. Yeah, it is a nice radio. Still is. And this is between Hill and Ellis counties. Again, we'd stop at the county lines so he could work 2 counties for each contact, double his pleasure. That was Ellis and Hill. I just got a kick out of driving around and seeing all the scenery. Now, this Parker Johnson was really interesting. Right across from this old place with old airplanes. I like old airplanes.
Hmm.
Again, this is on the Parker Johnson county line.
It's like a PT boat too.
Yeah, I see that PT boat there. Very interesting. So I enjoyed this. And of course, that looks like an oil rig there, you know, pumper. Probably is.
Looks like a cat to me.
So it was just a lot of fun for me. Okay, this is getting dark.
No K5KG.
You can see there was a lot of activity, and that's what makes it so much fun. You get out on the road, every time you cross a new county, here they come. And this is a real pretty video here. I did this while I was driving. It was kind of a challenge. That one I wasn't driving. This one I was driving. By the way, that was CQX, and that's quite a program. You know, it'll tell you where you are at all times. Now, when we got to Granbury, we had dinner with some friends. They met us there at the Hilton, and we enjoyed supper. And after that, we went up to the room and wanted to change our route. So here we're changing the route.
Was it?
That's a new one?
This is the Streets and Trips.
Okay. Generally starting up in Palo
Pinto.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Then
And go
going-
down to this Highway 16. Okay.
Then we pick up that and Eastland. There's
Oh,
two
okay.
extra counties.
So where's Highway 16? So I need to go to a little bit more.
Okay, so there we are on the new route. It's one of those places we had to go down and turn back. We just to add another county. Palo Pinto, Stevens. That's the one we added. Now this is interesting. We're between Palo Pinto and Eastland, and we worked a bunch of stations there. We were in Palo Pinto, and up at the top of the hill is Eastland. So when we
Well, you can see it, so you could work it, right?
pardon?
You can see the county line marker, so you could work it from where you were.
Yes, but he decided to work Palo Pinto and get the pile down. And when we went, I took a video, and as we crossed into Eastland, here they came.
road seems a little better. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up speed a little bit.
I noticed that last call was Travis County that gave a good bit. Anyway, that's about it. The few more shots here. There's the results. Not bad. 1,400 Qs. Chuck is a real top operator. But you know, I told Chuck, we're going to do really good at this. He says, well, I heard this guy named Gator. He had a paper log and he's got 1,500 Qs. What? Of course, everybody knows
That's K5 and K5RZ, right? Gator
it's in 5RZ.
N5RZ. Yeah.
Anyway, Gator is he's as good an operator as I've ever met. And he can do it with paper, he can do it with a computer, and he's loud. I work him almost every CWT. Anyway, but Gator beat us that year. Anyway, we did pretty well. And close it out. I'm gonna bring up the website. By the way, y'all were talking about connections. See if I can find it. I recently upgraded to gigabit, and I had a guy, a professional, come out and put the same setup that he puts in hotels. And I don't know the names of these things, but it's all commercial. And I have a gigabit Wi-Fi. I have it here in the shack, in the house, and also out the barn. How come I'm not seeing this? I just asked for it. Not showing up. Let me see.
Yeah, because it's way down on the bottom. I think you got to drag it up. It's off the screen.
Oh, okay.
Good call.
There it Yeah, I assume everybody's been here and seen this. Good job. Scott got out and did all this stuff. And does anybody want to see anything in particular and have me comment on it?
I think you need to just point out what's new in the rules, if anything, this year. What the resources tab has on it, what the routes are. That's the main stuff.
Well, the planning sheet, I just showed you my planning sheet. That should give you that. Texas counties, well, everybody knows there's 254 of them. This is one that K5GQ added. Routes, look at routes. On here is I'm looking for me. I don't
Here,
see
they're in red, K5DXCW.
the. So what I was showing you was the route plan going up north here. That was Sunday. That we're going up this way and zigzagging back. And we were back to Madison, which I think is right here. And then on Sunday, we're going to start down here in Fort Bend and go down this way and then zigzag back this way. By the way, the last county down here is, this is Victoria. That's DeWitt County. I got an email from Bill Frank. Everybody knows.
Sure.
Anyway, he says, I need DeWitt. Can you be on 40? So he gave me his phone number. I'm going to call him and say, we're in DeWitt. That's on Sunday. He says, can you go to Carnes, which is right next to it? I said, well, we'll think about it. So anyway, we may have a sched going there. He needs DeWitt and Carnes there's a total of 5 counties he needs to work all Texas counties. So anyway, we'll look at that. By the way, up north of Victoria, this is the Vaca, and this is where we made all the queues last year. Any questions on that?
Why don't you just show some of the routes that have been selected by other people?
So the other routes are,
Yeah, just one or two.
well, everybody knows N5, NA.
What's the Saturday, Sunday weekend? What does that do?
Look at what N5, NA is going to do. I'm sorry,
Okay.
what'd you say, Doug?
I said perhaps point out what the Saturday and Sunday and weekend tabs are for under the routes.
Oh, okay. If you look at counties available, let's say you're a CW only. On Saturday, see all those white ones? They're not going to be covered. The red ones are covered by 1 station. The yellow ones are covered by 2 stations. So,
Do you know when Chuck last updated this?
pardon?
Do you know when Chuck last updated this?
He works it usually in the morning and the evening of every day.
Okay.
As he gets logged in, he fills this in. So, you know, if you have a really good year, we got all these colored in. As a matter of fact, if you look tomorrow, you may see a lot more of them covered in.
Let's
Looks
look
like
at
Fort Bend needs some help.
Let's look at Sunday.
Now, this is Saturday, okay? If I go to Sunday, listen. Now, if I do the whole weekend, this is CW, okay? There's still a lot of counties. There's a guy that used to just go up here and work all these in the Panhandle, and last year he won. Now, I can't remember it, but his wife passed away, and he's kind of lost his, you know. Anyway, he used to work all this stuff.
How about sideband? What sideband look like for the weekend?
This sideband only.
A lot more open.
Oh yeah, still a lot of them. And you know, it's just, I think it's just the sign of the times, all this virus stuff. And we're going to be mixed. So if you look at mixed, it looks a little bit better. There's an awful lot of white. And you know, notably, is this area this guy from out of state used to work every year. And of course, out here, there are no operators. And who wants
Down
to,
around Beaumont, southeast there.
you know, who wants to drive all that from? Yeah, when Chuck and I went, we worked most of these back in 2011. But you know what? It's all about participating and having fun. And, you know, we can argue about which counties ought to be covered or not. But in the bottom line, in the end, having fun is the most important thing.
Is there anything different in the rules this year from last year, the year before that?
Well, a couple of things. Let me go to that. How do you get out of this? I'm not a good navigator. Oh, here it is. Let's go back to rules. Okay. I wrote these, so if you got a critique, I'm the guy to listen. Now, for 2021, the weekend changed from the 2nd to the 3rd. Where did, I don't know where it is, probably up front. But anyway, there you go. 3rd weekend, it used to be the 2nd weekend. And a long time ago, it used to be the last weekend. Well, everybody says, the last weekend's RTTY, don't do that. That, of course, K5DU was the first one to speak up on that. Everybody knows Susan. She's a big, really person. So
On the
she,
other hand, this coming weekend is going to be about 4 different other state QSO parties.
it doesn't matter what weekend you pick, there's always controversy. Every one. Like I had a guy says, "You're going to change to the second? You're going to conflict with a salmon run." I said, "Yeah." So I mean,
That's a biggie.
maybe that's better than the worldwide really contest. Man. Anyway, you can't get a place where nobody can write.
Yeah.
But I had some of the top contesters, and N5RZ was one of them. Gator. He says, "Put it on the third weekend. Fade the heat." Okay. So anyway, that's why that change happened. Also, another big change is the log deadline. And by the way, I did this because of what is going on in the contest world. You now have 1 week to get your log in. Used to be a month. Now, the reason I made that change big time, because by the time I get the logs in and they go to Chuck and he massages the logs and gets the results out, it's been like February, March before I could publish the results. And then another 3 months before the awards can get out. I'm tired of that. I want to get ahead of the game. I want to get the awards out in January. The only way I can do that is if I get the logs in. By the way, last year we had one guy says, "When are the logs due?" This was in January. Chuck says, "Send it in." So Chuck altered the deal to take his log. So we're real flexible, but don't pass that around. That's not something we want to do. But Chuck is good enough. He can take care of it.
So were there any other changes?
Nope, that's it.
Power levels and categories and all that sort of thing?
They're the same. Last year we added the HP to the thing. We always used to be QRP or other. Now it's HP, LP, and QRP. And there were a lot of calls to do that. And the reason is a guy like NR5M comes on with 20 towers. How do you fight that? They wanted the little pistol wanted a chance. We gave him a chance. We didn't change DX. DX is one deal, period. Non-Texas, pretty much limited, single QRP, CW only, and phone only. That's it.
Okay, any questions?
Oh, by the way, we're no longer awarding second and third place other than a certificate. We used to give plaques, and boy, what a hassle that was. So we're down to just the first place plaques. K5GQ and I won the first place mixed mobile. Texas TXM MO. We won the first place the last 2 years in a row. This year, they're ganging up on us. We may not win it this year.
I think the last 2 years, N8AI and I got second place. We had about 1/10 of the contacts you had.
Well, we had a lot of points. We had 1 million points. Over 1 million. Anyway, we were excited. Well, that's it, Doug. Unless there's some more questions.
Okay, well, thanks. Any questions out there? Any gripes? Any suggestions?
On the different routes you showed, when you are showing CW only, that means CW only for the non-Texas station, right? In other words, if I as a mobile enter as mixed, I'm going to show up in the CW only as well, right? I'll show up both in that and in sideband.
Yeah, the mobiles have a single operator. That's really mixed, okay? Then a multi-operator, that's really mixed.
Right, but that's not the question. I'm just saying on the maps.
On the map.
Yeah, on the map, let's say you enter as a mixed mobile operator. How do you show up on the map? You show up on all three maps, the CW, the sideband?
No, I can't answer that question.
There was a category that it showed
think-
sideband only, CW only, and then it showed both.
There's a
ends,
mix. There was a mixed. Go back to the maps because there's a mixed map.
Yeah.
Right, no, there is a mixed map, but I'm saying to the
You won't
people who
show
are
up
in
on
the
all
mixed.
three.
What's that?
You won't show up on all three. You just show up on mixed.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's a
Yeah, that's
mix-
kind of was my original thought, but then I thought, another interpretation of that is people who want to get in and they're only going to be operating CW, they want to see who's on CW. And that would include the mixed. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just another interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, this is coverage of mixed. In other words, that's inclusive. To me, that means it's inclusive of sideband and CW operations, no matter what category you enter. If you're CW only, you're still going to show up on this. In other words, this is a map of counties that are going to be covered during the weekend.
Mhm.
In some fashion.
Yeah, either mixed or only. Doesn't really matter if you think about it.
Is anyone using N3FJP as their logging program as a mobile? And what do you do about those situations when you're on a county line? Because I think with N3FJP, you can only select one county.
Okay, we used N3FJP 2 years ago. We went to N1MM last year, but we used N3FJP before that. And it's not correct. You can have up to 5 counties
Right.
with N3FJP. In other words, you can say, I'm in all these counties, or 4 counties, excuse me. You say, I'm in all these counties. And then when you log the first queue, it'll log all of them.
Really? Okay. Well, I need to look around in there because
That's not really kosher. You're supposed to have to
Puts 5 records in there.
5 individual contacts, right? I mean, even if you're still transmitting.
Don't you just list all the counties you're in the contact?
In N3FJP, it asks you what county you're in.
Right.
You can then put up to 4 counties in there.
But when you're actually making the QSO,
When you make
what does it do?
when you make the QSO and you enter the log, it puts all 4 counties in there.
No, what does it send? When you're saying you're in, you're in what county does it say you're in?
Well, it
All of them?
sends whatever you use in your macro. Now, Mark tried several different things. He tried sending multiple counties. That sucked. So he said different function. This is why we went to NM1MM, okay? Because N3FJP was so confusing to Mark. The logs looked like crap. It took me a month to get it straightened out when we got back. So I said, that's the end of that. We're going to M1.
You don't have a month anymore.
Well, that's right. So
I found N1MM is real easy to change counties. It's just a control key.
Well, that last year when we were using M1MM, the log was perfect at the end. I didn't have to massage it at all. But the other one confused Mark. So I said, that's it. We're getting rid of that. I like N3FJP. I've used it for years. I know Scott, we're good friends. We're both programmers, blah, blah, blah. But, the fact is N1MM is outstanding. It covers everything.
Yeah. I'm a convert for CW anyway.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got a question. I think Rick Garcia and I are the only ones that are actively doing the state QSO party challenge. But having 5 counties, I was wondering if anybody had any suggestions for strategies. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work Texas QSO party. And if I happen to work any one of the other participating states, I'll go back through my log and I will pull them out and do them separately at my leisure rather than trying to mess around. But I was curious whether anybody else had any experiences with that.
Sound like a plan to me.
Well, that's about all I can do because I really want to concentrate on TQP and, anything else that I get. I mean, in the state QSO party challenge, you really only need to make 2 contacts per state to get the multiplier. And so if I can pull that out, I'm still in good shape. But that's how you get a good score in that little contest is you got to have all those multipliers. So
Okay. I'm gonna give back.
Okay, well, are there any other questions?
well, there was some discussion earlier in the day online regarding FT8. And I did not see, I was going through the rules a few minutes ago, and I did not see anything about FT8 mentioned specifically. And I didn't see anything that was in too much detail on digital. So, but there were those questions that came up today. I'm wondering, I really believe this is something that we need to address for next year. And you just ignore it this year, I'm afraid.
Seems to me I just had the impression that FT8 is considered a digital mode for the QSO party.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
the bottom line to this though is the exchange is going to be a little bit screwy, and the question is that going to be handleable at Chuck's End?
Yes, it's all under the same as Riddy.
Okay.
We had some FT8s last year. They entered them as digital.
Okay, did they put them in as separate logs? That's how most of
I don't
the,
know, but they were in the same log. I don't know how
they
they,
were, okay. I'm not sure how they did that.
I'm not either. For me, I'm not a digital guy, so I'm not the guy to ask.
Anyway, well, that's something for us to discuss after the QSO party is over and we start the idea of planning for next year. That might be one of those things to where we specify that we do or don't, and then specify how we expect it. And I think that will simplify the process quite a bit, especially at Chuck's end. Chuck is a genius, but I'm really big on the idea of not abusing him too much.
Well, I'm sure he gets a lot of that. But yeah, one of these days I'm gonna find a replacement for me, and I'll be happy. How about it, Alan?
I'll see you part-time. I don't think I'll be able to do the whole weekend like I did last year, but
Are you
I'll be in
recovered?
there.
Have you recovered pretty well now?
Oh, well, I've got a borrowed radio and the stepper's up and everything's operating. I laid down the vertical actually for the storm, but it's also got damaged connectors from the lightning. So I haven't replaced them yet.
Well,
So I won't be on 80.
hope you're on 40 maybe.
I can be on 40, yeah.
That Hustler's pretty hot. I'm hoping it'll work.
We'll see.
We're gonna do strictly CW on the Hustler.
I
Very good.
know last year
Good luck.
the 40-meter coil, Hustler coil on our setup got pretty darn hot.
How many
Well,
watts?
yeah.
I don't know what the SWR was, but probably not too good.
Our SWR is flat. We got a nice big coil on the bottom of
Were you hauling around a generator running 1,500 watts or what?
it. Aren't they
Okay,
rated
guys.
1,500 watts? Pretty heavy duty coil.
Big enough coil. Hey, go big or go home, right?
I'm a very big newbie to all this, so I'm sitting here going through the rules and I see under scoring, It says count 3 points per CW and other digital mode QSOs with any station.
That's right.
Kind of leaves it wide open, doesn't it?
Yep. Where you want it. By the way, there was quite a bit of discussion when we put that in there. But we decided to go with all digital. But most of, tell you what, of all the queues out there, CW is like 60% of them.
It's a lot faster than the digital. The FT8.
Well, it's a hell of a lot more fun.
I agree. I agree with that.
I'll give you that.
You know, you haven't had fun unless you copy this guy. Murray's in, I can't remember his call, but he's on CWT every time. And he's running at least 50 words a minute.
Yeah.
He's in like Bulgaria or something like that. Boy, when you work in, say, wow, that was cool.
Got to watch out for those East Europeans and Russians on CW.
Gotta have your CW skimmer up and running.
Well, you consider that in a lot of high schools, there's competitions where some of these kids are copying CW at 100 words a minute, 120 words a minute. So yeah, it's going to float over into our ham stuff once they discover ham radio. And they think that CW is something more than just a contesting tool, you know.
Right. Yeah, if you go to the Rough ZXP website, years ago, they used to, I mean, they probably still do, used to show leaderboards for different categories. And there were teenage girls doing 100 words a minute, just doing circles around me, if they're telling the truth, that is. I don't know.
Anything over about 40, I just tune to the next station. 40 is good for me. Anything above that's a little choppy.
Yeah. Need to get K5GN out there.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of those stations are running really high. They just splatter all over. That's no fun.
No.
Well, that sort of brings up an interesting question, and that is, you know, I'm going to be operating from a stable position for the whole weekend, and it just, you know, yeah, I could maybe next year I'm probably going to get an amplifier. It may not be a super big one, but it seems to me that would really help with some of those other stations that I've been missing in the past. So I don't know. Maybe Alan has converted me. I don't know.
The more power, the louder you are, and the better you can hold a frequency.
Yeah.
You know, the better you can run, and you know, running. That's how you score.
That's how you
make a score.
Yep.
Running is king.
Yep.
Did you say you're going to be operating from a stable?
No, I wish I was operating from a stable. I'm working from a 8 by 10 portable building ham shack, and it's not even fully complete yet. But it's stable, and at least it has an air conditioner. I was kind of wondering what that was going to be like this weekend, but I've got a portable air conditioner that sucks 90-degree air through the holes around the door and blows it out the back and cools about half the air. So you know, what I need is one of those dual things where the compressor's outside and
a split.
But that's only about $1,100 by the time you get it installed. So maybe next year.
Did you get the 220 run?
Yeah, I don't even need 220 for one of those small air conditioners.
Oh, I know, but did you get it run?
I've got the wire already in place. I've got a single wire that's going to, it'll deliver 220. So I'm ready for that. Just
Cool.
haven't decided yet.
Jim, which county is your portable location going to be in?
I'm in Fayette County.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll hear you. I'm closer to Central Texas than a lot of people, so I'll hear you wherever you are. The angle is going to be just right for us.
At least on 40 meters.
Oh, well, 40 meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just, and my plan is I'm going to try to stay on 40 meters as much as I can. But when it slows down or if I feel disappointed, I'm going to move over to 20 and pick up some of those other states,
Yeah.
especially the guys that I work almost every weekend. I mean, you know, what is it? K3II or whatever. You know, Jeff is a really nice guy, and you know, I want to work him, and I want to work that W6A AKA or whatever it is. He's on every weekend on these QSO parties, so I feel obligated to work those guys.
Well, Alan and I are both going to be representing Fort Bend County. I'm sure there's no other competition.
No, and what's interesting is the only other ham in Fayette County that even had an interest in TQP had a renal artery aneurysm and died on me last week.
Oh, shit.
So,
How old was he?
Jeez. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it was a fellow by the name of James, Thomas W. James. And he was in Ellinger and he had a really nice setup. So I'll be keeping my eyes open. He's got a lot of equipment that I'm sure the family is going to put on sale. So
How old was he?
I think he was just short of 80 or something like that. But he's a retired electrical engineer and he's had a ham license for as long as some of you guys, I think. And he just moved to Ellinger about 5 years ago. And I've been driving by hoping I'd find him in the front yard more than one time that I've talked with him. But yeah, the one time I talked with him, it was the weekend before Texas QSO party. And I said, hey, why don't you get on the Texas QSO party? And he says, what? So he'd never heard of it before.
I've been surprised with, I only sort of went public with my participation, but I've been surprised with the number of emails I've gotten. I've got one from Laszlo Vey, OM2VL, who's looking for a bunch of counties in South Texas, and Mark Music, WB9CIF. So people are watching the website. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you located, John?
Where am I located?
Yeah.
Well, right now in Houston near Meyerland, but I'll be in mainly Live Oak and McMullen on one day, and then down in South Texas, a couple of counties down there
That's right.
toward the Mexico. I should be going as far south as Edinburgh at the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Where's
Are you
your
going to
route
get
there
into?
Where's your route there on the website?
What's that?
Hey, did you submitted your route to the website?
I did, yeah, but not very long ago, and that's why I was surprised I got emails, because I mean I only did that about a day or two ago.
Yeah. Were you going to be down in Nueces County?
No.
No. Okay. I was going to say, if you're going to be in Nueces County, I can tell you a spot where you can go to get Nueces and Kleberg County in one fell swoop there. So,
Yeah.
and you could say hello to my across the street neighbor because he's got a house in the last development before you get to the Padre Island National Seashore.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover as many counties as I did last year. I mean, that was a crazy number of counties last year. It was a lot of travel, and it really cut down, since I'm a single op, it cut down on the on the amount of time you could really run. I mean, you're picking up those 10,000 point bonuses for each county, but still I think it's not a great strategy to try to cover too many of them.
Yeah. Well, not by yourself. Now, I don't know, maybe since we live pretty close together, maybe we ought to talk about next year and a joint mobile operation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
Wake
else?
up, Orville.
Oh, not too much. I'm just sitting here chatting with my son who's out on rig out in the middle of the Gulf.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. He posed it, said electronic techs are making $7,000 a week.
Wow.
I retired too early.
Yeah, I was
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
say
maybe I
that-
should go back to work.
Yeah, that was gonna be my suggestion. I think there's 4 or 5 people right here that could probably use that, you know.
Yeah. I remember the $1,000 a day gigs. Sure do. And more.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Nope.
I think I'll wrap
I
this
just
up
look
then.
forward to hearing everybody on 40 meters. Y'all jump in there.
Fayette, is that,
LaGrange ain't too far away.
Fayette, is that around LaGrange, something like that, or?
Yeah, I'm about 11 miles southeast of LaGrange. If you know where Harushka's kolache place is in Ellinger, that's that's where everybody stops. They go through Columbus and they stop in Ellinger for the kolaches. So she sells 400 dozen kolaches on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day.
400 dozen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ask me why she owns 95% of Ellinger.
Wow. Okay, well, thanks for showing up and attending and participating in this this Zoom session. And maybe next month we'll be seeing the bright and shiny faces in person. I'll put out something in ahead of that. So, okay. Well, good night, gentlemen.
See you on there. Good night. Good night.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Keith, for everything you did.
You're welcome.